Hey, welcome in. Well, Trump has been pretty quiet lately. Pretty quiet, but I would have been surprised if he hadn't commented on this, because he loved this. As did a lot of other people, myself included. But anyway, what's the headline here? It says, Donald Trump seizes on low Oscars rating to bash the telecast. Don't be so politically correct and boring. Don't be so politically correct and boring. And really, he has just gotten right to the point there, hasn't he? I mean, this does encapsulate the problem for the Oscars. And for, I think, Hollywood and the whole celebrity culture in general. Politically correct and boring. I mean, those are things that fewer and fewer people are enjoying all the time, it would seem. As would be evidenced by ABC's telecast of the Oscars hit an all-time low, with an average of 9.85 million viewers. A drop of 58% from last year. So that's pretty bad. That tells you something. That tells you that people aren't liking the product anymore. And why? Well, maybe it's politically correct and boring, right? Those would be bad things. Although politically correct is not even the right term anymore, I don't think, because it feels kind of passive, whereas wokeness, being woke, is an aggressive thing. It's a proactive thing. It's forcing it on people. Whereas politically correct could just be avoiding saying things, right? Whereas woke is really being in people's faces. I mean, that's part of the whole woke thing, right? Is that you have to shove it down other people's throats. That's why we hear things like, it's not enough to just not be racist. You have to be anti-racist. That's woke. Politically correct is just being a coward. Anyway, I expected Trump would really enjoy this because, well, he didn't really get a fair shake from Hollywood, did he? I mean, let's take a look here. Meryl Streep and 22 other celebrities who didn't hold back while talking about Donald Trump. I mean, you've got all these people, Sonda Rhimes, who I actually don't really know who that is. Michael Shannon, who is a good actor, but also apparently Trump deranged. You've got America Ferrara, who had a show. Didn't she have a moderately popular show about 10 years ago? Anyway, James Van Der Beek, Emma Stone, J.K. Rowling, Jesse Williams, Aaron Sorkin, Gabriel Union, Lady Gaga, John Legend, Jennifer Lawrence, Sarah Silverman. This list could just go on forever because it was just a non-stop tsunami of virtue signaling idiotic wokeness from Hollywood. But anyway, what did Trump say? Anyway, so he said what used to be called the Academy Awards and is now called the Oscars, a far less important and elegant name, had the lowest television ratings in recorded history, even much lower than last year, which set another record low. If they keep with the current ridiculous formula, it will only get worse, if that's possible. And he continued, go back 15 years, look at the formula they then used, change the name back to the Academy Awards, don't be so politically correct and boring, and do it right. Also, bring back a great host. But could they even get a great host? I mean, who would agree to it? You can't say anything actually funny because it might offend somebody somewhere. I mean, they were supposed to have Kevin Hart a couple of years ago. He would have been pretty good, right? But then, he got canceled. He got canceled from some old tweet. So maybe just actually the having a great host thing is just off the table at this point, right? Just simply because wokeness just won't allow it. Anyway, it says, these television people spend all their time thinking about how to promote the Democrat Party, which is destroying our country, and cancel conservatives and Republicans. That formula certainly hasn't worked very well for the Academy. Well, that seems to be true, doesn't it? And, promoting the Democratic Party, and it seems to be like the farthest left aspects of the Democratic Party, too. Anyway, what do they say in this article here at the end? They say, talk show hosts and commentators on the right seized on the low viewership to claim that it was due to political statements and speeches made during the telecast. Something that even Regina King acknowledged at the outset could be a turnoff. It could be a turnoff for people. And the thing is, it's not just during this particular one. People have gotten used, people are expecting it now, so they're just not watching it in the first place because they know what's coming and they don't like it. Many people, I should say. There are some people who do want to be lectured to by narcissistic millionaires, right? But a lot of people don't. Anyway, they try and make another excuse here. They say, but there's also a strong case to be made that the viewership numbers reflect the popularity of the nominees. But that also tends to go along with the preachiness. I mean, if the content itself is preachy, if the movies that are nominated themselves are preachy, as well as the stars, that's kind of the same thing in my mind. Anyway, with movie-going curbed due to the pandemic, many had yet to see or even hear many of the contenders, even when they were available on streaming platforms. This is the thing. It's actually easier to see a movie now, right? I mean, when you've got a lot of movies just being released straight to streaming, it's easier to watch that movie now. So I'm not sure I'm really buying this whole thing. I think it might be that the content is terrible. I mean, maybe it's just preachy in a really irritating and boring way. Or even when it's not preachy, maybe it's just been neutered by political correctness to the point where it can't possibly be entertaining. I mean, if everything that you make is made in mind of not offending some leftist or revolutionary communist somewhere, right? You're probably going to have a hard time making compelling content. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.